This pandemic has changed the world. Margaret W. Wong and Associates, with over 40 years experience in U.S. immigration law, keeps working for you in the midst of adversity. Offices are in Cleveland, New York, Memphis, Atlanta, Columbus, Raleigh, North Carolina, Nashville, Chicago, and Minneapolis. Look after your loved ones and we'll take care of your immigration needs. Please call us at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Juan Carlos Branda, and I'm really excited to be one more time with you all, sharing knowledge about the immigration field. And we have Ms. Wong, who has been working on this field for over 40 years. So thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this space that you have every Thursday and every Wednesday and every single day that you have a chance to talk to our audience. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, Mr. Juan. Good. Thank you
so much, Ms. Wong. And today I would like to start by saying something that in 2 days ago, a couple days ago, I had a group of friends that are supposed to be coming from Venezuela. They are coming through Mexico. I don't actually know all of them, but what I know is that the bus where they were driving all the way here to the United States was stopped by gangs or by mafias, and then they took all of them out of the bus. They took them to a little house or to a kind of house in a farm, and they started to ask each and every one of them, who are you traveling with and where are you going? So if they are traveling without a coyote, then they will charge them around $6,000 just to get them to the border. And it's unfair because some people just come and they are trying to get to the border to present themselves in front of DHS. But there is a lot of issues going on in Mexico, and there's a lot of gangs, especially the Zetas, that are working around that area. So, Ms. Wong, what is your reflection about this situation? I'm afraid of what's going to happen with those people that come from my country, and now they're in trouble in Mexico.
Yes, and Venezuela is going through such hell, and so is Brazil. The whole Latino countries, the South is really bad. So my position is, it's always opportunity cost, the macro, the micro, the black and white, the parallel track. America is not somewhere where you can go. It's not like 40 years ago when I came to America. It was very welcoming. It was easier to get green cards. Now, America is becoming poor and poor. You have India coming up. You have China coming up. America is squeezed between Europe with EU, and it's difficult. So I always believe in there's always a cost. If you want to be a professional working woman, the cost is that you may not have a lot of time to spend with your children. That's always a cost. If you want to be very, very successful, invariably, maybe a good man will never marry you because you're too successful for them, right? So that's always a cost. So my position has always been people need to stop coming up. And I know I sound mean. I myself came years ago. So just give us that 1 year. We really need our current president and vice president to pass laws to help the 20, 30 million people in America who may have no papers. They've been here 40, 50 years. The kids are all here on DACA. They have TPS for like 20 years. El Salvadorians in the early 90s, they have TPS and they stopped TPS. In February 2001, they started TPS again. Now it's 20 years. No more perm. Laws changed in 2005. I mean, perm is still here, but there's a long line for the Indian people and the Chinese people. Chinese are waiting for 5 years. Indians are waiting 11 years. Even the 500,000, the 900,000 investing, For Chinese who are waiting more than 6 years, or the kids are aging out. So what good is the parents to get a green card when the children cannot come? So these are all laws. We have perm bars, we have 245Is, we have C-SPA, and I know I shouldn't talk about all these complicated ABCDEs, but we need change. So I beg the southern border not to come up yet. Give us that 1 year so internally we can straighten out our 30 million people that needs papers. We're not even asking to be a multimillionaire. We're not asking for citizenship. We're not even asking for green card. Just give us a social so we can work. Give us a driver's license so we can drive and take our kids to the hospital, and give us a work permit so we can work legally and file tax return. There's so many people in America now, we are working, but we cannot file tax return under our real name because our name is tied to a tax ID number, which are really very much the irony is that tax ID number are for the rich people. A lot of these Saudi people, they came shopping, they get a tax ID number to apply for credit card. See, so tax ID number is really not for people like you and I who needs to work. Tax ID number is for people who just need a credit card, open a bank account. And now people like us, we are stuck here with the tax ID number with nothing, but we are filing tax return. And in the olden days, like when I started practicing more than 45 years ago, it's different than now. In those days, the Mexicans, the Latino people, the Indians, we were all poor people. Those of us who came in the 80s and 90s, most Chinese only came in the late 70s, but Indian people really only came by 89, 93. We were poor, that's why we came. Now, most of us who came, we're upper middle class, like the Venezuelan people you're talking about. Venezuela, there's no medicine, no hospital, no doctors, no food. It's just like the old China. So people who really could even afford a bus ride, they're upper middle class. They're not just that's why they stop buses for Venezuelans, because these people are rich. They don't, but even the Mexicans who come now, they're not stupid people. Like in the olden days, we make $2 an hour doing farm work. Now those people, they make good money because I see their tax return. I represent a lot of them. So, but Mr. Juan, I'm glad you asked that question, because my answer is we need to stop coming up. Give us a chance to have the American media, the Republicans and the Democrats come to an agreement. We need DACA kids to get green card, TPS people to get green card, essential farm workers. There was a study recently about in California, most of the people, they're laborers, they're farm workers. Same in Ohio, we don't make that much. We make $11, $12 an hour, but still money, you see? And we keep working. They've told in American soil for 20, 30 years, we need something, please. So stop coming up. Let us pass some laws. We'll take care of our own. And then they could come up and we'll figure out what to do with them.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this reflection, which is very important. We know that right now, a lot of people just want to come and then they'll see what's going to happen. So, but we really need the comprehensive reform to be done, to be approved, and then to start a new era, the era after this reform. So if you have any questions, please feel free to call Ms. Wong. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And Ms. Wong, I know the office in Cleveland is very busy right now. I haven't seen you wearing your mask for a couple days, so that's a good news because we know you already got the vaccine. I will get my vaccine tomorrow. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be fine, and if something comes up on Saturday, I'll be home, so I don't have to work on Saturday, and I'll be fine. But how does it feel to be able to see people coming to the office right now? And now that we know that the office will be receiving people in person for in-person consultation on the 14th in Nashville and the 15th in Chicago.
It's wonderful. I think human beings why are we human beings? We are not a dog and a cat or a lion or a tiger. It's because I think human beings need to connect. we need that energy flowing, the negative energy. A few years ago, I still remember guys were so scared when the new president come years ago, and even in the Obama days, it's always deportation against the Latino people, always the Latino, and then the Indians, and then the Chinese. So it's very nice. Suddenly now the clients are not as worried, or they'll say, "Oh, I'm afraid I just lost my case. Do you think ICE will come pick me up?" And my answer is no. Our policy changed now. Unless you have serious criminal record, unless you're a deportation priority, especially if you have kids born in America, your spouse is American citizens, or your parents have green cards, and you don't have a criminal record, those are not priority cases. In fact, the new thing now is it should have come in April, but we didn't. The courts are going to come in with the new Obama, now it's Biden, but under Obama, we can also admin close cases, because admin close means that it's status quo. That means I can protect my house in America. I can still own my car in America, but at least I won't have final order of deportation, and I can keep my work permit. Now that's coming back. We're waiting any minute now from the Biden White House to come up with something. And from Mayorkas, who's a great USCIS director so far, to come up with that new law. So good things are happening, and this is really just wonderful.
Yeah, that's true, Ms. Wong, and thank you so much, because I know that before the pandemic, you would travel every single day. And then I know this is not specifically about immigration, but I see that your life is very inspirational. So what did you feel that first week in March 2020 that you realized that on Monday you were not going to be traveling? And you
Right.
didn't know until when?
That's right. So we had to cancel off because our plane tickets are booked for a long time or ahead, because it is cheaper if you book ahead of time, and all the clients know we're coming. They took that day off to see us, because some jobs you need 3 months notice, some jobs you need 2 months, because our clients don't have these white collar jobs. Most of our clients are people like you and I. We are working, so we need advance notice. So I felt very bad when we find out. And I keep saying, oh, maybe I can still do it. And then news came out that you're older, you cannot do it. But it turned out to be a wonderful experience. But in fact, the last week, I felt like a tsunami. Suddenly, I stopped traveling after 6 or 7 years of living on the road. And then 1 year and 3 months sitting in the office, talking to clients just on the phone. Because sometimes without that connection, the energy, the eye contact, I can't hear. I'm listening, but I can't hear what they want. And also the scariness with the prior president deporting everybody, no admin close, everybody goes to trial. And we have to remember, they are very smart people. They're not dumb. So right in the middle of his term until even January, February, they hired a lot of people. In fact, the BIA, the Board of Immigration Appeals, are staffed with all these highest denial rate judges from around the country, because BIA now lets them work at home. They don't have to move to Washington or Virginia now. So, for example, Judge Cassidy is working in Atlanta. He was one of our even though he's a good friend of mine, I adore him. I love him. He's an old friend, actually. He came from Ohio. But these are tough, heartless judges. They're white people. They don't see our eyes. They don't go to Costco to shop like we do. They don't go to BJ's. They don't shop in Aldi's. They just don't go shopping, I guess. And they I don't know what they do. But sometimes if you see, that's why we need to get out. If you shop in the same place, if we eat in the same restaurants, and then we see them, we see their kids. Actually, I think I told you that we won the case because the kid was in a men's bathroom. The 6-year-old kid saw a judge, and the judges are actually really nice people. They're human beings, just like us. And the judge was really like this kid and said, oh, what are you doing here? Why are you here? And then he pulled on the judge's thing, and he didn't know this is a judge. The kid is 6 years old. So I'm here because my mother was ready to be deported. It turned out it's the same judge, and he got a grant. And it's, okay, so I'm like, these are little things that if you see those eyes of these people, then you know, oh my gosh, I'm making life decisions for the whole family and their grandparents, and so. But now it's good. It will be good. Yes.
But we are still here, Miss Wong, and
Yes.
we are really thankful. And well, I am a believer, so I believe that good things are coming, and I know you also believe that good things are coming. But hard work pays off, and that's what matters in these hard times of crisis. So, Miss Wong, let's start with a couple of questions here. So the Litsa David once says, "Why is it so hard to get a green card for a person with skills set, and yet someone, a laborer, can also get it very easily? What kind of politics to Dems are reps playing?"
Yes, this probably is asked by, is it by okay, the last name. Normally Indian people, they have EB3, EB2, and EB1, but they take a long time. So the Indian lines are long, it's about 11 years. The China line is also long, it's about 4 or 5 years. There was a time the Filipino line, because of the nurses, because all nurses are EB3, even though they may have masters or PhD, they're EB3 people. But now Filipino came back to current. Current means that there's no line. I don't think we should differentiate between people who just work in a farm or a kitchen versus people who have PhDs and masters. We are people. But as far as immigration people, that question is an employment-based question. So probably he or she came as an H1. So the question then becomes is, why is this so different when people who have no skills versus people who have skills? Because in American immigration law before the 70s, because I started practicing I graduated in 76. So in the 60s, they have Western Hemisphere, Eastern Hemisphere, parallel track. And then afterwards, they're family-based, employment-based. And under the employment-based, they also have EB1, EB2, EB3, EB5, the investment that 1.8 million and the 900 million. And then the religious worker, which is, another group. And then you also have the widows and stuff like that. So the employment base is a line. There's no differentiation between Latino or Mexican veterinarian, who I do a lot with, or Mexican TN visa, which are Mexican people, because only Canadians and Mexicans. There's no difference between PERM, which is labor cert, which is a new law that started in May of 2005. So as far as that question, there may be a misunderstanding because I was looking at that name. It's not from India. I mean,
I think it's from Africa, Ms.
yeah,
Wong.
Africa. Yeah, that's a last name from Africa. It's not because most people, like the Nigerians, is known to we have multiple marriages because it's okay, because Nigeria at one time was Muslim and we could marry, but in America we cannot do that. And then and I don't mean to be a racist. I try not to be, because immigration is all about countries, what you're from. Like El Salvador get TPS, Mexican don't have TPS, Taiwan you got e-visa, mainland China you have no e-visa, and Hong Kong went back. So it's all about countries and race and nationalities, because that's what I do. So I think that country, a lot of times in the African countries, is so hard to come to America that maybe we didn't get the H1, we didn't get the PERM. But as far as skills or non-skilled, it's all EB3. There's other workers. The lines are the same, except India and China. And at one time, Philippines. Now Philippines is straightened out.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Don't forget that you can call Ms. Wong and have an appointment now in person in Chicago and Nashville. Nashville is going to be June the 14th, and Chicago is going to be June the 15th. So please give us a call. The phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984 is the phone number that you can call to make your appointment, and it's going to be in person. So that's awesome, because we have been willing to do this for a long time. And just like Ms. Wong said, it's not the same to listen to someone on the phone than looking at somebody's face and knowing that even though people say something, you can tell that there is a feeling inside, and maybe they are not saying something, but you can notice in their eyes what's going on. So please, the phone number is 216-279-3984. Make your appointment in person in Nashville on the 14th of June and Chicago on the 15th of June. We have another question, Ms. Wong. We have a couple more questions, and I know our time is short today. Hi, Ms. Wong. I'm a client, and thank you for all that you are doing to keep everyone informed. I don't understand why the priority dates work, how the priority dates work, but do you know how fast is moving for I-130 over 18 category by August 2021? Mine will be 4 years, and I am in the UK. I understand that that it can take several months, even when your priority is current. Thank you, Ms. Juan and Juan.
Okay, so I presume your parents are either a green card holder or citizen. I presume, since I'm your lawyer, that your parents have green card. And by the time they got the green card, you may have aged out, but you're under 18. So it shouldn't take that long anymore. You need to look at B under family, right? Under B, you would get the NVC number. So once you get the first NVC letter, they'll tell you in the middle of that letter, they'll have the IV. You have the case number, you're in UK, so it'll be a UK number. You use that number to open the file. That's what we call a file creation under National Visa Center. And then, oh, you're over 18, the age is 21. So I presume you're family 2B. Family 2B is about taking 4 to 6 years. Actually, the age is 21. So I presume parents are green card or citizens, you're over 21, but you're still unmarried. So you're family 2B. So family 2B is running 4 to 5 years. Look at the family, you know how they have employment case A and B, and family A and B. Look at B. If the quota is open, and Mr. Oppenheimer from U.S. Department of State does all these numbers, so you have Mr. Oppenheimer is really famous. I mean, we watch him all the time just to see the prediction of numbers. So because it's a year earlier from the Part B, and then you just do the file creation. Your parents have to give you the 1-year tax return, whoever is sponsor. If your parents don't make enough money, then you need a joint sponsor. Those are very easy. So it's a matter of process now. The hardest part is the thinking. It's when can I file? Because a lot of people thought, oh, you cannot file until you become a citizen, the parents, but you don't. If the child, it doesn't matter how old the child is, as long as the child is single, divorced, or widowed, not married, you can file when you're a green card. So I presume since you're my client, your parents are still a green card holder, and you cannot marry. All right, just do the file creation when B comes, and you'll be fine.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And Hinal Patel is asking, what's happening with DACA nowadays? Did government approve the application? And if yes, how long is it taking to get DACA?
Okay, it's only 2.5 months now. We're still doing a lot of late filing DACA. The good news about DACA, it came back under Biden. Absolutely do DACA, number one. Number two is also do parole if you enter undocumented illegally. Because whatever new law comes, they always prefer legal entry than illegal entry. So DACA only takes 2.5 to 3 months. So make sure you do it.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. It's already the hour that you need to go to the next meeting. So thank you so much for your time. And love to see you today a couple times in the 2 shows. And see you next Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Huang.
Thank you. And don't forget, please, that Ms. Wong is available. Just give her a call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And you can make your appointment for Nashville, which is going to be in person on the 14th of June. And on the 15th of June is going to be in the city of Chicago. So please give us a call, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. For Hinal Patel, please give us a call, because right now we can file for new DACAs. It was approved recently, a few months ago, and our people, after winning a case in the Supreme Court, the cases were opened, and people can file for the first time if you came to the United States before June the 15th in 2006 or 2007. I'm not quite sure. If you were without a status on June 15th of 2012, and also if you were born after 1981, January 15th, 1981, and you were not older than 31 years old on 2012. So there's some requirements also if you kept studying after high school and you have your diploma, your bachelor's degree or some other degrees before some time, then you can file for DACA. So please call and make sure that you can file it, because it's going to be something good for you. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. See you next time. Take care. Be good and have a good weekend. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow we start a new weekend, and I hope that everybody stays safe. Thank you so much, and see you next time.
This pandemic has changed the world. Margaret W. Wong and Associates, with over 40 years experience in U.S. immigration law, keeps working for you in the midst of adversity. Offices are in Cleveland, New York, Memphis, Atlanta, Columbus, Raleigh, North Carolina, Nashville, Chicago, and Minneapolis. Look after your loved ones and we'll take care of your immigration needs. Please call us at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984.